I'm sorry to disturb you, sir.
Nonsense. We're delighted to see you, Mrs. Grant. If only the chance to offer our condolences. Won't you please sit down?
Please, Annie. I'm sure this is a very bad time for you. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Needless to say, if there's anything we can do to help you in your time of sorrow, you need only ask.
That's very kind of you, Mr. Quartermaine.
Edward.
Oh, Edward. Well, the reason I came here is there is something that I hope that you'll do.
Anything.
Oh, what did you have in mind?
Well, you probably know that Susan left everything to me, so that I'm going to be living in her cottage.
Well, it seems only right.
Oh, yes, very.
Well, now that Susan is gone, Jason is all that I have left.
Oh, he's such a sweet child. I am sure he's going to be a great comfort to you.
Yes, he's an absolute angel. But now that he depends on me, I was wondering if you would object if I became his guardian.
Legally, you mean?
Whatever it's necessary.
Well, I think that is a wonderful idea.
Yes, well, of course, there's the question of the money.
Well, yes, of course.
The little shaver already has a great big chunk of our, money of his own.
I'm not interested in the money, Edward. I'm only interested in the welfare of the child. I will make sure that the money is taken care of.
Oh, well, you wouldn't hesitate to come to us for financial guidance?
If that's what you like.
Well, I certainly have no objections. Monica?
I agree with Edward. I see no reason why you shouldn't be a legal guardian to little Jason.
She should be what?
Orderly to the 7th floor with a wheelchair staff.
Jesse.
Hello, Robert. Or I call you Mr. Commissioner now.
You can call me anything you like, but I need a spot of help. I want to talk to Rick Weber, Mark Dante, and Dr. Putnam.
Well, let's see. Rick is at the waterfront clinic. Mark is with Claudia. There's an emergency. Dr. Putnam is no problem at all. Dr. Putnam.
Yes. Oh, hello, Robert.
Hey, mate, listen, I'd like to sort of take a few minutes of your time, if that's all right.
Certainly. Let's go over to the lounge.
Look, instead of asking you any direct question here, what I'd like to do is, in your own words, just recall for me anything that Susan may have said to you.
Since I treated her, that covers a lot of territory.
All right, then. Specifically, anything about Scotty.
I got a very clear impression that he was responsible for her troubles.
Can you be a little more precise? I mean, can you give me her exact words?
Okay. Mark and I were examining her, and let's see, I remember Mark telling her he wanted me to take a look at her back. That's what
I'd like Dr. Putnam to take a look at your back.
All right.
I was studying your chart, Mrs. Baldwin. You're a lucky woman.
So I've been told.
Now, let me know where there's any pain.
Last time Rick was here, he said your blood pressure was up.
Can you move your
You've
head
got
to
to
the side?
learn to relax, young lady.
I try, Doctor, but with a husband like, ow, that hurt.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
How about here?
No, it doesn't. It's not as bad.
Okay, you know, I'd like to get a closer look. Where could we go? Maybe upstairs?
Sure, it's fine.
Have you done anything about therapy?
Not physically, no, but what I'm involved in right now is probably going to do more good for me than any whirlpool or massage ever could.
Now, that may not sound significant to you, but I got the definite impression that Susan was referring to Scotty.
In a case like this, everything is significant. Listen, thanks very much for your time.
I'm glad to help.
I may need to talk to you again later.
Certainly.
Jesse, listen, I need to talk to Steve. Is he in his office?
No, he's in the cafeteria.
Well, I'll find him there. Thank you.
All right.
Steve, you mind?
Of course not, Robert. Please sit down.
Look, I don't want to waste your time here. I've reconstructed what happened the night of Susan's death. Now, as I understand it, You were with Leslie at Kelly's diner when Alice came in.
Well, that's quite right. Alice had just witnessed a fight between Scotty and Susan, and she was upset about it. Obviously disturbed. Rick thought so, too.
Alice, I thought you were staying with Susan.
I couldn't.
Something wrong? With Susan? She was fine when I left.
That was before Scotty got there.
What happened?
Scotty and Susan had a big fight, and she got very upset.
Great, I just got through telling her that she had to relax, take things easy.
Maybe you should have had that conversation with Scotty.
Oh, no, it was Susan's fault, not his. Scotty didn't start it. What am I going to do?
Alice, I don't know. Sometimes the doctor can only do so much, then it's up to the patient.
Susan needs help.
You want Rick to go back there?
No.
What then?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
Asking us doesn't do any good. As he said, she has to take the first step.
And what I'm trying to say is that she is not able. We are going to have to do it.
Okay, all right. Then I think what we should do is just wait until tomorrow morning, and then we can talk to her, because people are often more receptive in the morning.
Yes, they seem to listen a lot better after a good night's sleep.
Suppose.
Alice?
Well, it's just that I have this feeling.
What kind of feeling?
Oh, never mind.
If we're going to help, we have to know what's going on. You have this feeling.
It feels as if tomorrow might be too
late?
All I know is that we've got to do something as soon as possible.
In summary, Robert, I got the distinct impression from Alice that Scotty hated Susan.
Wait a minute. Excuse me for putting my 2 cents worth in, but I just don't understand.
What's going on?
Because I witnessed the marriage. Susan asked Scotty to get married. It wasn't the other way around.
That doesn't negate my impression.
Yeah, well, you have a point there, Steve, but in this stage, all impressions are very important. I'll put them together later on.
All right. Mark, how's Claudia doing?
Well, we're trying to stabilize her, but it's rough going.
Any idea what happened?
Not yet, but I think a lab report will show that she's had some kind of poisoning.
Oh,
She's breathing easier
Listen,
anyway.
I really don't want to interrupt here,
Yeah,
but
go ahead.
I have a couple more questions.
Of course. We realize time is important.
Do you recall anything which may have given you the impression that Susan was scared of Scotty, or indeed that they were fighting?
Well, she was kind of upset, but that wouldn't pinpoint Scotty.
Yeah, but Dr. Putnam did.
Well, maybe he had a clearer picture than I did.
Perhaps. I'm hoping Leslie can corroborate exactly what you remember at this stage. I want to know what Alice said when she came into that diner. Excuse me.
Alice, of course you realize that I am Jason's father, and as such I am entitled to legal custody.
But you could change that.
Yes, I could, but at this particular point I have not considered all of the ramifications.
It doesn't have to be complicated, Alan.
No, Alan, it doesn't. All you have to do is to get a lawyer and go through the legal proceedings and change the guardianship of Jason over to Alice.
And naturally, Jason is going to retain his trust. I'll get the bank to help me, and you could help all you wanted to, Alan, because I don't know anything about money. Of course, I would need a little for child care and to make a nice home for Jason.
Susan's dead, and she's still bilking us from the grave.
Beg your pardon?
Oh, it's nothing, Alice. It was just a remark.
Well, I really must be going. There's one other thing, though.
Oh, yes, of course.
I want to apologize to all of you for what Susan was doing to you.
Well, you didn't mention that to anyone, did you?
No, I don't intend to. I mean, it isn't anybody else's business.
That's very understanding of you, Alice, and you're quite right.
Well, thank you again. Alan, you will let me know what you decide, won't you?
Yes, of course. I hate it. I hate the idea of losing my son like this.
Oh, Alan, knock it off. You can see your son anytime you want. Just look through the telescope.
I say let her have the guardianship. Anything to keep her happy.
What is this, our mission in life now? Keep Alice Grant happy?
Well, we certainly don't want her mentioning blackmail to the police.
Heaven forbid.
You know, you two are living in a dream world. Whether she says anything or not doesn't mean a damn thing, because Scotty Baldwin's going to shout it out loud and clear.